on the benefits of migrating to Sugar, Sell, and Serve. We're going to get started here, but real quick, just a couple of housekeeping items. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel. During the question section of this presentation, I will be unmuting mics for our open mic portion of the event. So if you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand so I can unmute you. You can also type your questions into the question box of the control panel for me to read out. I will be monitoring this. This session is being recorded and we will share it with you via email. You can expect to see it in your inbox likely tomorrow morning. First, a bit about Braincell. Our CEO founded the company 26 years ago this year in his bedroom, and over the years we've evolved from a pure reseller of software to a true consultancy with a variety of technologies and services that support growth initiatives. Today we have a portfolio of end-to-end business technology solutions in CRM, ERP, marketing automation, business intelligence, support, and sales enablement. Our core focus is providing technology and services that help our clients become growth enabled, beginning with people and process. Here's our agenda. First, I will introduce our presenters. Second, we will discuss the continued benefits of migrating to Sugar and Serve and why we are recommending it for all of our customers. Next, we'll get into the differences between Enterprise, Sugar Sell, and Sugar Serve so you can better understand the allocation of features between these product lines. Then we'll walk you through the steps of how to easily migrate from Sugar Enterprise to Sell and Serve. And then we'll open up the mics for a live Q&A session with the Sugar Customer Advocacy team. Also, stay tuned because at the end we have a special offer. Okay, today's presenters, most of you know me. Hi, I'm Allie Littman. I'm Customer Success Manager at Braincell. I'm also joined today by Martin Schneider, who's the Head of Corporate Strategy at Sugar CRM, and Patrick Sullivan, who's our Senior Escalation Manager at Sugar CRM. Great, so I'm going to hand it over to Martin now, who's going to talk to us about the continued benefits of migrating to Sell and Serve. Take it away, Martin.
All right, thanks, Allie, and thank all of you for joining. Before we get into the products specifically, I did want to take a step back and kind of talk about the vision or the lens and how we kind of envision how we build and how we bring to market our products going forward a little bit differently than we have in the past and really differently than anyone else. So one of the first things, as you see on the screen here, is this time-aware customer experience platform. Now, some of you as Sugar users might have heard some noise about this and things that we've been talking about as it's become a real big differentiator for us over the last year or so. What we've been doing essentially is underneath inside the Sugar Cloud is, without getting too technical, is essentially timestamping kind of everything that happens so that we can understand by leveraging AI and machine learning and a lot of the really cool technologies to start to understand differences, anomalies, the calculations about how long it takes to go from one stage to the other, how long between interactions with the customer, to find those important events so that we can notify or even move a workflow along, all those types of things. So having that time-aware platform, now that's just in the operations. From an analytics, reporting, and insights, there's really incredible things that we can do from that once you start to understand, oh, I can see time series, I can look at my pipeline today versus my pipeline this day in the quarter from last quarter or last year or 2 years ago, and really start to understand trend analysis in ways that CRM and sales automation and support automation tools just never could, right? And taking our other tools that align in with Sell and Serve, like Discover and our Hint product and customer journey tools, to really create a really rich mosaic of time-aware capabilities so that it's insightful, it's intelligent, it's predictive, really cool things. And now all this is optimized for the Sell and Serve products moving forward because they're getting optimized in that Sugar Cloud that's moving forward. So again, you take that time-aware customer experience platform and all those things that it's doing, and that's one of the big ways that we go to our next, what we call our pillars, is the no-touch information management. Again, if we're tracking time, we're getting insights, and we're understanding things more intuitively, we can actually alert users. So then again, we can tell them things they didn't already know. We can have them do things like talk to the system rather than have to type everything. We can push data to them rather, again, having them type that in, either whether that's through hint inside cell or serve, or basically just understanding your queue, because we're doing a list view instead of a traditional list view, which is alphabetical or however you want to filter it. It's actually using our AI intelligence in the Sugar Cloud against Cell, for example, to say, hey, here's the people that are coming up for renewal most often, and not necessarily most often, the people that need the most attention before they come up for renewal. So again, that smart queue and smart listing, so that it's really no touch information management, extending that to mobile as we always have with voice to text, automatic call logging, things like that, to really drive down the effort factor, as we call it, when you're using the Sugar system. And all that going forward is going to be really optimized for the Sell, Serve, Market, and the Sugar Cloud products. And again, really all this is around our continuous cloud innovation. We leverage our partnerships with the best in cloud, Amazon and others, so that you don't have to worry about reliability, scalability, security, performance, all those things. And neither do we, in a way, because that means that we're spending the bulk of our time building really cool features really fast and in a seamless way for all you out there, so that you're consuming these features as a cloud service, not customizing them, not building them, not maintaining them, not worrying about upgrades and what might break, really building these things so that you're consuming them faster. Because what do we want to do? We want to help you innovate faster than your competitors. So we need to be even more innovative than anyone else, so you can grab those features in a day when they come out, rather than over a next week or month or sometimes year, given older software models. And really, when you bring all these together, the platform that's giving you insights that we never could before as an industry, empowering your end users in ways that we never could, and then making this all happen really fast and on 90-day development cycles, sometimes even sooner with some of our other products, sometimes every month. That's really our, the fourth pillar, as we call it, our kind of lifetime commitment to customers. We think about the way that everything's moving with subscription economy, the importance of recurring customers and retaining revenue. We have the same concept, right? We look at every single one of you guys as hopefully a customer for life, and helping you build customer for life relationships as well. And those are kind of the four pillars. That's the lens with which we envision, build, and deliver the software. But let's see how it all kind of comes together. Now you see this kind of circle here, and the pillars are kind of floating around there as a kind of mind cloud. But really, the idea is we've got that customer experience platform at the center. It's time aware, it's intelligent, it's doing all these amazing things. What we've done is really kind of modularize the products in Sell, Market, and Serve around the Sugar Cloud, with analytics clouds around that, like Sugar Discover, to do really cool additional analysis on that. So that when you think about it, it's if you have a use case for us and you're starting just now, or maybe you've been a customer for a while and you haven't taken advantage of all the things we do, what we're thinking of is making it easier to consume these products around your use cases as cloud services, integrate them with either your legacy tools or other Sugar products in a really easy and seamless way, because of all that cloud innovation that I'm talking about, that great platform capability. So it's a CX platform. What you can more easily kind of grab what you need, both from a functionality perspective, both from a pricing perspective and a complexity perspective, whatever meets your needs. So we have the entire end-to-end life cycle covered now of what I would call kind of lead to close and cash. But you can take what you need when you need it. You can sub out things to have a best of breed approach, or you can consume the whole suite if you really want that integrated, time-aware platform running through everything. So you're getting the right notifications, you're ahead of your customer needs, and really creating that customer for life scenario that I talked about. So that's kind of the way it all comes together. But if you're already familiar with our products in the world of Sugar Enterprise, I do want to talk about how things are kind of changing faster in the world of Sell and Serve. So when you think about, just a quick view of the roadmap, these are things that you're going to get sometimes now and even faster. So in Sugar Sell, the renewals console, that's available now in Sell, something we just brought out, and that's managing what we call kind of duration-based product and services, whether that's a service contract, whether that's a subscription, whether it's a lease, that's all those types of things. So you're understanding right inside the system at a single glance who's bought what from you that has, an expiration date. When does that expire? Pushing, like I said, up to the top, the ones that are either close to expiration or might have related cases or certain things that you want to give them that care that they need so that they're in the right mindset when they come up for renewal. Those types of things. And being able to do all these things on a single pane, as it were, in a single panel, and do all that really cool stuff and all that AI underneath telling you all the things you need to know. Creating a new sales console, which looks a little bit like the renewals console, but again, creates that single view and highly, productive, effective UX, right? And all those new UX paradigms are only in the new Sugar Cloud of Sell and Serve, right? Enhanced lead SLA management, where leveraging that time-aware platform to start understanding how long has it been since this lead was converted and assigned and routed. Are you against SLAs? Are you missing time? How do we get alerts? How do we make sure that no lead falls through the cracks so that you're hitting your pipeline, you're hitting your quotas, everyone's making their number, everyone's happy, right? And then we have our Discover product out there, which does amazing predictive and other types of analytics against the time-aware platform, bringing those insights right inside the UX. Again, there's a lot of the user experience, that no-touch concept I talked about that really lends forth inside the newer products, where they will possibly at some time be back in your enterprise products, but just not as fast. And it's really about, again, being ahead of your competition, having a great experience for your customers, and you want to grab onto these. And the same thing with SugarServe. We've had legacy case management capabilities, but we never really broke that product out into a customer service, really kind of dedicated product line. Now we've got new general managers of that, product managers and engineering, so that we can make this the best product it can be, so that when you're thinking of customer service, thinking of customer support, we've got you covered with a great product that really blends in with all the things you've been doing. So with workforce management, so you can start to understand peak time, scheduling, understanding, making sure that you're never going to miss SLAs because you have the right people on the job, right? Omni-channel customer response, adding new tools for chat and other multi-channel customer response, so that, again, across channels, escalations, communications, they don't get lost. Everyone has that complete view of the customer. More seamless telephony integration. That also goes back to sell as well, so that if you're doing telesales or telesupport and taking in calls, making that even easier, leveraging some of our cloud partnerships and the cloud platform we have. And then continuing to improve our portal. And again, you can see how the use cases kind of blend. This might be a partner sales portal. This might be a customer service, self-service scenario, but making really great UX, whether it's an internal user who's an employee or a customer out there who just wants to see a case status, wants to search a knowledge base, wants to solve their own problems, wants to communicate with you in any way, ask for help, making that even easier and in a much more a seamless and appealing way. And that's just a few of the things that are coming in the next few months and within the year. I mean, beyond that, we're going to get even faster and faster and faster about how we develop really cool new features in Sell and Serve, which will be coming out a lot earlier than if you're on our on-premise versions of Enterprise or even in our cloud versions of Enterprise, because the cloud platform I talked about, the customer experience, time-aware platform, the no-touch UX, all that's being dedicated to these really cool new products and the directions that we're taking them. So that's kind of where we're going with things, and just a little bit of a kind of sneak peek at the kind of really cool things you'll be able to consume every 90 days if you want them, rather than a little bit longer, sometimes multiple release cycles because of the way that it'll have to be reworked back into enterprise. So a new UX paradigm, really cool time aware and analytic platform, and really optimized both for our integrate, our capabilities around integration platform as a service, and some cool things we'll be announcing around that. So lots of really cool stuff happening, all really optimized for the cloud products, because the cloud is the future.
Great, thank you, Martin. So now that we've heard about the benefits of migrating to Sell and Serve and all of the great features that are coming down the pike, I want to use my time to go through detailed product differences. So this slide provides an overview of the benefits of being on the new platform. First, you will have access to Sugar's productivity add-ons like Connect for email integration, Customer Journey for process management, and Hint for data enrichment. All of the things that combat data entry fatigue and increase benefit to effort ratio when your sales team uses the CRM, while giving them access to an end-to-end consolidated customer view. Then with Sugar Discover, you have the ability to continuously monitor KPIs, proactively alert users, and automatically surface root cause and risk before it affects your business. The AWS hosting is really only about 15% of the value that Sugar passes through to you, the customer. Using AWS services gives Sugar and its customers access to a broad range of technology and allows Sugar to deliver innovation at a pace unmatched by competitors using proprietary cloud hosting. It provides all of this technology at massive economies of scale. Furthermore, it will enable you, the customer, to integrate using common skills and technology. The possibilities here are just endless. Some of you are already familiar with Sugar BPM, the Advanced Visual Workflow Designer, but Sugar Sell and Serve comes equipped with out-of-the-box workflows that help solve your common business challenges. Again, Sugar is continuously simplifying views for sales and service users, as is evident through the Kanban view for opportunities, which some of you may be familiar with, and the renewal and service consoles that Martin was just talking about. The most compelling reason, I think, for migrating, however, is to be part of the continued innovation that Sugar is putting into its platform, with great features and updates coming to you on a quarterly basis. So this is just a simplified comparison guide between Enterprise and Sell and Serve if you switch today. Keep in mind that Enterprise, Sell, and Serve have been very similar up until this point, but will begin diverging more and more in the coming year. For your pipeline and opportunity management and Sell, you will see new recurring product management features and console views on your dashboard. And Serve, you will find an updated customer web portal, business center and SLA management, team collaboration, and time-aware service reports that come out of the box, and a service console for simplified case management. And as I mentioned before, Sugar, Sell, and Serve come equipped with out-of-the-box workflows to help you automate those common business processes. For project management, Sell and Serve have customer journey to manage processes and can integrate with project management systems. And of course, we'll continue to deliver innovation to you once a quarter. So I just want to remind people right now that you should feel free to send your questions over in the question box. But right now I'm going to hand it over to Patrick, who's going to walk us through how to migrate over to Sell and Serve. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Allie, and thank you to everybody on the call for attending this webinar today. So now you know the reasons why you will want to switch to Sell and or Serve, but how do you exactly do it? It's actually a very easy process. There's only a few steps involved in migrating to Sell and or Serve. The first step is that you will want to review your usage of Sugar to perform feature validation. So that is, you will want to identify what functionality from Sugar you currently use and what functionality you might not currently be using. When migrating to Sell and or Serve, there are a few changes and features as identified here. The projects, legacy workflow, SOAP API, legacy REST API functionality are all replaced with newer components and features that you can very easily transition to. You'll also want to check and see if your business is actively using bugs, cases, releases, or the case portal, as this will help you decide whether you need to migrate to Sugar Sell, Sugar Serve, or a combination of both Sell and Serve. After you perform that feature validation, you will want to finalize your list of users for Sell, Serve, and or Sell and or Serve. Typically, users who are in a sales role need to have access to Sell, and users in a service role need access to Serve. If you have users who need access to both Sell and Serve, that works as well, and you would simply assign them to the license type of both Sell and Serve once you migrate. After you finalize that list of users, you will want to work with your customer success manager to set up a test instance for functional validation. This validation will help you see what your instance of Sell and Serve will look like and confirm that all of the functionality works as expected before you move forward with actually migrating your production environment. Go ahead, thank you. So in the test instance for validation, you'll complete setup for your test group of users who will be validating the new functionality. Applying Sell and Serve seats to your users is very easy. You can complete it by simply navigating to the user management section of the admin panel. So your test group will go through the process of validating your customizations and also the new features in Sell and Serve as necessary. Once they have confirmed that everything is working as expected, you can reach back out to your customer success manager to proceed with updating your production license with sell and or serve license seats. If your test group did identify any changes during the test cycle that might need to be made, these can then be applied to your production environment as you make the transition. Once that's done, you're basically ready to go. You can navigate to license management in your production instances admin panel. You can revalidate your production license key so that it recognizes the changes that were made to your license for sell and or serve. And then just like you did in the test environment, you can go back into user management to change your users to have sell and or serve access in production. And that's it. Your instance and your users are now on sell and or serve. Back over to
Awesome.
you, Allie.
Thanks, Patrick. That seems really easy. So now I want to open up the floor for questions. I've already had some that have rolled in, and please, if you'd like to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute your microphone and we can answer your questions for you, hopefully. So the first question I have is, do the add-ins come free with sell and serve?
All right. I'm happy to take that one. So sell and serve, the add-ins like Discover, the customer journey, the Hint product lines, they're all additional licenses that you need, mainly because, for example, Discover is a side product. It's not right in. It's not a feature of the product. It's an analytical tool. I mean, the way we price it is far superior from a total cost of ownership perspective than those big Cognos and BI and Teradata and Tableau type products out there that can sometimes cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars over their life cycle. The Hint product is data, right? It's a pipe of data from hundreds of sources that we provide to you, and to be quite frank, someone's got to pay for the data. But when you think about what a Dun & Bradstreet plus LexisNexis and all those other products that you might be buying cost, again, which come up to hundreds of dollars a user a month, we're a fraction, pennies on the dollar for data. And the customer journey, again, since it is an additional tool, it's kind of inextricably linked to the workflow, which is really awesome, and it's totally seamless, and it's built on kind of sugar code. It's still an additional product because not everybody wants or needs that, and we didn't want to bulk out the base price. So there are additional ones. There are concepts like our productivity bundle, where you can get really great baked in discounts, and obviously at volume it helps. But these are not included. That's kind of not where we were going with the sell and serve, for example, changes. Not to bundle those, because they still continue to be disparate products for disparate use cases, and are still going to be their own product lines moving forward.
Thanks, Martin. I have another question here about pricing. How much does it cost to migrate?
That's a great question. Now, just to give an example of how little it can cost, for existing enterprise customers in our cloud with only configurations, some of them have already been upgraded to sell because they have a sales automation use case. They're not using things that might touch, as Patrick was kind of talking about, what features are you using, are you not using, what's the crossover, let's start to understand your use case. People who have an only sales automation, they're only using our accounts module, only using opportunities, contacts, things like that are pretty much one for one in Sugar Cell, have been actually migrated. We've already migrated a couple of customers without them, not to say without them knowing it, they know it, but it's, again, without any effort. So it's pretty simple to do that, and with that, there's no cost, right? This is the future of our product line. So if you're using Enterprise as a sales automation tool, you're going to get your one for one. If you have 20 licenses, 200, you have 200 licenses or 20 or whatever it is of sell, and there's no change in cost. You're kind of grandfathered in as existing customers. If you're using, you have a heavy sales automation and customer support, and you need the capabilities of serve and sell, we give you like for like. Our kind of motto, our driving principle with this migration is like for like and be fair. So this isn't a gotcha to really upgrade people and upsell them, right? That's not really how this is working. This is to get people on the really cool stuff moving forward, and this isn't a license squeeze. Now, that said, if you're heavily customized, if you're using a lot of custom modules, if you do have a very salesy use case that uses a lot of the support tools, but you don't have support people on it. There might be some things where professional services needs to, whether that's done through Braincell or whether it's done through our own team or together, there might be a cost associated with that, because that's something you need to identify and look at the cost benefit analysis of that. Knowing that and know that we have such a flexible platform and there's so much people can do is we're supporting enterprise indefinitely, right? So you'll always have the things you need, and you'll always eventually get the cool stuff. But the idea is, if you can and it makes sense, we recommend, just as Braincell is, because they get it too, is moving on to sell and serve, for example. But again, from a license perspective, there's no real cost.
Great, thanks, Martin. Can sell or serve be hosted on premise?
The easy answer to that one is no. Similar to how Sugar Market already lives as a kind of cloud only service, that's where we want to go with everything else. I mean, and really it's the right thing to do. I mean, you want fast upgrades. You want to understand things. There's ways of managing things from a data perspective that have nothing to do with where the application lies, right? If data security or residency or other things or that, that's why we work with people like Amazon. They're really smart about these things, and we can make these things happen. Now, sometimes there are limitations, and you need to stay on enterprise. But for the most part, we're making these cloud-only products, because that means you're going to be doing more configuration than customization. You're going to be working within the right guidelines and frameworks for fast, seamless 90-day upgrades. Our Sugar Cloud sell and serve, those types of buckets of customers, they get the new features typically within 1 to 3 weeks of GA, and that's really fast, and that's really great. When there's something really big like this, service console, renewals console, SLA management on leads and things like that, and all the cool workflows and templates, you get them, almost seamlessly, and that's the huge thing, and that's why we've made that concerted decision to make these cloud-only products.
Okay, good to know. Here's another one. Are there read-only licenses for sell and or serve?
Yeah, great question. So similar to enterprise, you can license it in a way, in kind of much the same way, right? If your use case says, oh, okay, well, we only want to have a bunch of people who can read opportunity data for whatever reason, we have those. We call them read only. If you want people that can only access a couple modules or do a couple things, we have the light access. So again, like for like and be fair. So if you're already using those types of scenarios, if you've worked with your Sugar rep or Braincell to create those licenses inside your organization, we're going to make sure that they follow through, right? And if you're looking to add in that scenario, if you don't use them now, sell and serve have them as well. So we haven't changed much around the types of licenses. It's really just moving into that really great cloud environment, so you get faster, more seamless upgrades and really cool features.
Okay. Can we move to sell now and add on serve later?
Absolutely. I mean, not to, I don't want to go all the way back, but the idea of that kind of modular vision of everything kind of working together natively, but also being kind of modular product lines, that means that you can plug in sell to serve or serve to sell whenever you want. And that's one of the great things is it's not about, and again, if this is more of a question of the licensing and the price versus the technical capabilities, that's a yes too, right? If you've got the legacy situation with us, we're going to work with you and make sure that you're getting the right value for what you've already invested, and making sure that if you want to phase this out. So say you've got case management use cases and you want to hang on to that, but you want to make sure that your sales guys get the renewals console first. We can work with you on who and how gets upgraded, right? Now that said, there will be some maybe data visibility issues for the short haul around that, but for the most part, you can add serve if you don't currently have a case management customer service use case. Add that whenever you'd like. All that kind of stuff. Go super easy.
Okay. I have a question about the projects module. They just asked, what if we're using the projects module?
That's a great question. I mean, for the most part, the project module was something to be, this kind of fun Sugar lore for someone who's been with the company almost as long as they've been around. Is, we actually we're going to stop making that, and then people were using it, so we just kind of left it the way it is, and it hasn't really been updated much. But it's a part of enterprise, and it's part of the original kind of platform. So it kind of sits there, and people use it. Uh, there's other ways to use or to manage projects inside Sugar Cell and Serve, which are probably preferable in terms of what we get from a BPM, alerts, notifications, status, things like that. The customer journey tool giving that visual status of the projects. You know, the only thing you miss is like the simplicity of a Gantt chart, but you can kind of build them out in other ways, in other tools in the product. So, and then again, you know, we never wanted to be a project manager. We're not an Anaplan, we're not a Monday.com. Those guys do that stuff really well and pretty inexpensively. And our integration platform as a service allows you to integrate those things as well and bring the data or bring the visualizations in as either iframes or however you'd like. So there's multiple options, right? You know, the easiest one is it's so important to you to have project management. You stay on enterprise for as long as you can, right? If you want to use our BPM capabilities, you can leverage that inside of things like customer journey and the BPM and the process definitions and flows as well, and see the status and use all that. Or you can integrate with one of the cheap but effective multiple dedicated point solutions out there for project management. So there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. And at the end of the day, it's like, is all these other cool features, is all this great stuff, is all this upgradability, is that worth it to not have a Gantt chart anymore? That's native inside Sugar, really. That's the only one feature that we really don't have, to be blunt and completely honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I have another question about a feature. What will happen to our legacy workflows if we migrate?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the legacy workflows do go away for the most part, but there's a reason why we have Sugar BPM now, even in enterprise, right? It's far superior. So the best way to think about this is no matter what, rethink your legacy workflows, because what we've noticed is even before we started making the concept of sell and serve, we started working with a lot of customers who had like hundreds of workflows, right? Because they were building these kind of one-to-one, like if this happens, here's the workflow for it. But what they started realizing is, oh, well, Sugar BPM, even back when we called it advanced workflow in quotes, right, oh, this is a rules engine. So now I just have to make like 5 or 10 base rules and then start to build little micro flows off of them. So then you're starting to get, go down from like 150, 200 workflows down to sometimes 3 to 5 to 10, and then building off them when things happen in the system. So it's a streamlining and a much more productive way to look at it. So the idea is thinking in BPM rather than legacy workflow is the right thing to do if you're on enterprise anyway. And then when you have those already written, they're in BPM and they're going to transfer right over to sell or serve, because it's all the same stuff, right, from the BPM perspective. So I would say the legacy workflow is not the most ideal way to look at things. I know they're probably already written. They work. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But if you really have the time and energy to optimize and start thinking of streamlining, breaking these down to only a few, that's the way we've seen people do it really successfully, because then that really opens them up to easier maintenance, easier expansion of the workflows without saying, okay, well, am I doing like this 60 times, write once, run everywhere kind of thing. So it's really, I think you should start rethinking your approach to legacy workflow, even if you're not going to sell, because Sugar BPM is far superior.
And if I can step in for just a minute, if you already have BPM functionality available to you through enterprise, at any time you can begin that transition from the legacy workflows to the BPMs. And if you don't have that available right now, you can work on that transition over to BPM, during the test cycles, testing out sell and serve in that test environment that we spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also want to just piggyback on that, because we have been helping our clients, a few of our clients, transfer legacy workflows over into Sugar BPM. So that's something that you can rely on Braincell as your partner to help you get done too, especially in a shorter timeline, or at the very least training and enabling you to do it yourself. I have one more question for you guys. When will Discover be available for custom modules and serve and market?
Great question. So constant development happening on Discover pretty much every day, right? One of the first things that we'll be doing, and I kind of mentioned it, is making the visualizations, the charts, the really cool stuff available as dashlets inside Cell first. Serve will be next, probably in a couple release cycles. Towards the end of the year, Market, and then I really don't know after that. I think they're kind of all I think that's the big ones, right? So we're looking to get those all done within 12 months from today. No promises on that, but that's where we're kind of at. That's what we're shooting for. There's a lot of, making Discover is so easy, so to speak, in terms of from a consumption perspective. There's tons of KPIs, tons of metrics, tons of insights that we want to analyze against that time aware platform, so that making it right and making it easier, so it's really turnkey for you, the customer, takes a long time, because we want to get it right. So that's why we optimized it for the sales pipeline, let's call it first, for sell. It still works again, and making it work with some of our legacy products like Enterprise in the cloud, against your opportunities and other SFA modules. But next will be against Serve, and then Market after that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering all those questions. There was a few, and thank you everybody who contributed to the discussion. So now we've gotten to the end of our presentation. Again, thanks to everyone for attending. I want to share with you a special offer right now that we have. Not only can we migrate at no cost to you from Enterprise to Sell and Serve, but you can also take advantage of our migration concierge services at the moment. And if you have any questions or if you want a quote, all you have to do is contact me, and my email address is there. I'll leave it up for a second, but thank you to our presenters. I appreciate all of your time, especially Martin and Patrick. Thanks for being on the line with us. And yeah, thanks to our attendees. We will talk soon.